Our first step was really to have a look at which children and families we thought were experiencing the effects of deprivation. Obviously the money was targeted at the 3 school meal rate, and for us that was a significant group of kids. About 17% of the school are on 3 school meals. However, we did think there were other groups of children in the school that were being affected by certain levels of deprivation. So we did a wee bit of digging around of who that might be. One of the areas that the school serves is a large social housing area within Fort William that is characterised as SIMD2. There are a number of families there that, although in work, often hospitality work or the fish farming, that involves long hours and relatively low pay, and those families and children could also experience difficulties. So in the end we put those 2 groups together, and we looked at those as a target group, so the SIMD2 children and 3 school meal children, and that equated to about 30% of the school in total. As a staff, having looked at the barriers being perhaps attendance, ASN, EAL language levels, possibly something around family support, punctuality to school and preparedness for school. We also knew there was a significant group of children that we'd already been working with who were having nurture provision with our additional support needs teacher. We then started to look at the wider work of the school and what we were already doing. So we audited the provision using the interventions for equity map from Education Scotland under the 12 areas that interventions could go into. We mapped out our provision as a staff of what we were already doing, and then started to look for possible gaps within that provision. Looking at that, it was clear that although we were doing some work, as I say, with the nurture for that group of identified children, we'd started work on parental engagement and trying to get parents to come in and be involved in supporting learning. That was felt to be something we should really try and develop more. We felt there was a definite need to offer particular families more support. There was clearly work to do around attendance and punctuality, and what could we do to get children into school on time and ready for learning in the morning. So we then, looking at those gaps, started to think, well, what is it we could do as a school using the PEF money to try and meet those gaps? And that's where the idea of the children's service worker came from. So the children's service worker started in August. It was one of those roles clearly new to school that we've developed over the year. We had an immediate focus on attendance and punctuality. So Wendy looked and talked with children and families at what would be useful. Working with the canteen, we started Breakfast Club up. The Breakfast Club is open to all the children in school, though for our targeted pupils, the pupils from the PEF target group, it is 3. Children and parents are welcome to come along. They come along from 8:15. There's lots of games, activities within the Breakfast Club, and that's made it really popular. Wendy, as the children's service worker, staffs that along with one of the canteen staff who does the actual food, and then Wendy is there to greet the kids and organise the activities. That worked really well. We had conversations with particular children and families who were keen to actually get into the Breakfast Club, and then making sure they had a calm, settled start into school. We're now coming towards the end of the first year of having the children's service worker role. Some of the impact monitoring for that has been quite easy. We have seen the gap between the target group and the whole school attendance figure start to fall term on term as we've gone through. The punctuality issues are absolutely much better for those children. Having them in the breakfast club, ensuring they're getting a good start to the day and then into class has been really successful, and teachers certainly report children are much more settled, more engaged in learning, and we've not got the lateness that we had before.